Greetings, greetings, greetings. Good evening, good evening. This is Chief Kalanago Flying Eagle, and we got a build this evening. We have a lot to go through. Let me just make sure I got audio on Facebook. All righty, give me 1 second. Got a build this. All right, we got audio on Facebook. Let me check YouTube and make sure we are good. Do me a favor, guys. Go ahead and share this link on your respective platforms. Okay. We about to go in deep. All right, we're going in this evening. All right. We about to go in. Let me see YouTube, my channel. All right, and we are live. We see YouTube. All right, here we go. So we good on YouTube and we good on Facebook. All right, guys. So, always got to start off by acknowledging the great spirit, universal intelligence, the great I am, the universal all, what people may call God, all right, or what we call God. And definitely want to acknowledge my ancestors, give them thanks, all of my ancestors, thank them for just guiding me and protecting me. And just knowing that they're here with me. Our ancestors haven't left. Okay, the physical body is not the man or the woman. So therefore, our ancestors are here with us. All right. Life is ongoing and we're here to pass on the baton to those that come after us. All right. So let's keep that in mind. Once again, I'm thankful that my ancestors, they opened up my mind and just give me the honor to be able to be in the position to do what I'm doing. And I'm always thankful for the guidance and protection, and I know that any weapons formed against me will not prosper. I already know that. All right. And I always like to put this out there. Anyone who tried to hurt me intentionally, I don't forgive. OK, that's not how the universe works. When you forgive people for hurting you intentionally, then you prevent them from facing their karma. And that goes against the laws of nature. All right. So anyone who comes up against me to hurt me intentionally in whatever form or fashion, I ask my ancestors to deal with that and make sure they get the wrath of my ancestors in abundance, all right, 10 times fold. All right, we about to get into a build, okay, that I know I've gotten into a lot talking about who we are as the American Aborigines and we being the original American Indians. I've also spoken about the natives, and I've given you enough information, and I'm fortunate enough that I was in situations where natives were telling the truth. I mean, even in my inbox, I spoke to 2 natives, and it was a little not back and forth, but a discussion, and finally, speaking the truth. And I'm asking them to join me, in speaking the truth, that the original people of the Americas were of Negroid features. And a lot of them are actually, admitting that, so that's good. That's good. To me, that's what I want. All right. I'm not mad at anybody for being or saying who they are. OK, I'm not mad at that. You dig? But don't be mad at us for stepping up in our rightful place. This is our birthright. OK, and us claiming our birthright doesn't mean that we have to hate anybody else. That's not what my purpose is about. OK, that's not what my goal or my job is not to to put hate, animosity, envy out there. That's not what it's about. It's about reclaiming and reclaiming my ancestors' legacy. Okay, it has been shut, hidden, lied, stolen. We could just go on and on. All right. So if you go back all through my videos, you'll see. I was going back 4 or 5 years into my videos, and I've been on the grind doing this, and I've been consistent. So I'm pleased and happy that now it's becoming more popular. You know what I'm saying? And people are finally stepping up and taking their ancestry a little more seriously. You see what I'm saying? But like I always tell people, these the lying and the indoctrination, there is, how would I put it, many layers to that. A lot of layers. Okay. And we have to go through all the identity crisis. What do I mean by that? I mean, Okay, all the different labels that were given to American Aborigines, because the further back we go into antiquity, all right, we were just people living on the land. And I've shown this in so many different lessons to verify and prove and give you the facts of what I speak of. Okay, so it's because of colonization. Anytime you start talking about nation building, okay, it's a form of colonization because that wasn't our culture. Okay, we were just people living on the land. But because of colonization, okay, of people having nations on the other side of the world, that was introduced into the Americas, the concept of nations. Now, it doesn't mean that we didn't have structures that kind of like, you know, with similarities of a governing body. It doesn't mean that. We were organized, but we just didn't call them nations. Okay? So with the intrusion of colonizers and settlers, okay, our identity from the get-go was, or the goal, so to speak, was to take away our identity. Because if you take away the identity of a people that has been on a certain landmass from time immemorial, and when I say time immemorial, I'm talking about time that goes beyond the comprehension of memory. That's how long we've been here. Okay. So, with that being said, the goal was to take away our identity. Now, if you could detach us, well, let me rephrase that. If you could take away our identity, then you have accomplished the goal of detaching us from our land that we are the natural custodians of. And that has always been the goal. So we went from just people living on the land within our families, our communities, okay, to American Aboriginals, to American Indians, and then the list go on and on with all the different names: Black, African American, Afro American, the N word, colored. I mean, it's just so many different names, all right? And then so many different ethnic groups claiming that they were here before us, or they are us, or we are them, all right? We went through the phase of, we're still going through the phases of Native American, dealing with that situation. But as you could see, I'm bringing enough information to prove who we are and who they are. Okay, then it was at one point, it was about Israelites. Oh, well, everybody in the Americas, they're Israelites, the lost 12 tribes of Israel. Well, I have to put that in perspective and prove and show people who the true Israelites are. They're not American Aborigines. Okay, the original Israelites are from Ireland, Scotland. That's the original Israelites. Okay, so I went through that. But there is always, the gorilla that's in the big room. Okay, no pun intended, which was the last, and which is the last hurdle that American Aborigines got to go through. And that is the identity of being called, or the label of being called Moors. Okay, because we are not Moors. We were never Moors. And this was never Morocco. You feel me? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and break a lot of things down. All right. And by no means, like I said, in all my videos, this is not about putting people down, discrediting people. All I want is the truth. It's only the truth will set us free, not opinions, not what you want it to be, but what it is. Okay. And that is the last hurdle that American Aborigines have to go through in order to step forth into our rightful place. We have to get over the label of being called Moors or Moorish Americans. Now, I'm not saying that Moors don't exist. I'm not saying that Moorish Americans don't exist. They do, but we are not them and they're not us. And the mere fact that a lot of them, with all due respect, running around saying that they're American Aborigines, again, that is the concept and ideologies of a colonizer, a settler, because that's not true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by going into the etymology of Moor. All right. Why am I starting off with the etymology? Because Moors are very, very big on etymology. Very big. As a matter of fact, I have spoken to a lot of Moors who's told me the truth. Okay. And that's what I respect, the truth. Now, whether people are running around saying they are Moors and they're Aboriginals, whether they're doing it intentionally or they're doing it because that's all they know, I don't know. But I'm here to set the record straight in this lesson. All right. And truth be told, I've learned a lot from the Moors. I've learned a lot from natives, but I've learned a lot from the Moors in the sense that Moors were the ones who taught me about etymology. Okay. I mean, I used to know meaning of words, but well, definitions of words, but they taught me about the origin of words. And I'm talking about a good 6, 7, 8, almost 10 years ago. All right. A Moorish brother, hit me up. I mean, I'd say about 7 years ago. Okay. And started telling me about etymology. I didn't know about that. Okay. And a lot of the stuff that I know, okay, in law, the truth of the matter is in civics, I learned it from Moors, a lot of it. So I respect them for that. But we still have to set the record straight, because if it wasn't for them giving me some of the knowledge, I wouldn't have dug deeper than what I had to go to uncover the actual truth. So since Moors are big on etymology, and to them, etymology is the Bible. Okay. I mean, etymology is the Bible to them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the etymology of the word Moor. Okay. That's what we are going to do. All right. So let's get into that, and let me share my screen. And I hope any Moors or Moorish brothers and sisters that are listening to this, okay, please do your research on this, okay, because I realize that a lot of people are still confused and people are gravitating to what they think that sound good. But we are not dealing with that right now. I'm about getting to the bottom of the truth, because we have to resurface as the American Aborigines, and we have to have our own identity and not have it be confused with anybody else. All right. So let's get into that, and I'm going to share my screen. We have a lot to go through this evening. Okay. Now, guys, do me a favor, right? I would like you guys to please do me. We have a Telegram group, okay? And I'm going to put the link in the chat. Do me a favor, please. Go ahead and join our Telegram, because it's important to have, okay, different platforms where we could stay connected, because anything could happen. Okay. You saw what happened to Facebook sometime last week. Okay. We need to stay connected. Bottom line. Okay. And for those of you who want to support, the lesson, the YouTube channel, please don't do it on YouTube. Go to the website, www.ipnan.org, and you'll find ways where you could support. All right. So just wanted to make that clear. Okay. Don't do it on YouTube, please. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And please, please, please go ahead and follow us, not follow us, but join us on Telegram. All right. So let me see. The first one I'm going to get is, I thought I had that right here. Let me tap on that. We're going to look at the etymology of the word Moor, and we're going to start off here. Okay. Share. Here we go. All right. So this is the etymology of the word Moor. For those of you who don't know what etymology is the origin, foundation of a word. Okay. And once again, Moors taught me about etymology. Okay. They are very big on that. To them, etymology is the Bible. All right. So here we are. Moor, a verb, to fasten a ship in a particular location by or as by cables, anchors. Okay. So we could stop right there. Moor as a verb, to fasten a ship in a particular location by or as by cables, anchors, etc. All right, we could stop right there. Okay, let's go to Moor as a noun. Okay, Moor, a noun, etymology here, okay? Tract of open land, untilled, more or less elevated ground, often overrun with heath. Period. A noun, okay? That's a moor. Noun, okay? More as another noun, okay? When dealing with a person, okay? Here we are. Noun. A North African Berber, one of the race dwelling in Barbary. End of story. Okay, we could even go further because now it relates to the people themselves. So I'm going to read the entire thing. Okay, Moor, North American Berber, one of the race dwelling in Barbary, late 14th century from Old English Moor, from medieval Latin Moros, from Latin Moros, inhabitant of Mauritania, Roman Northwest Africa, a region now corresponding to the northern Algeria and Morocco from Greek Moros, perhaps a native name or else cognate with Moros, which means black. But this adjective only appears in the late Greek and may as well be from the people's name as the reverse. Also applied to the Arabic conquerors of Spain. Okay? The Arabic conquerors of Spain being what? A dark people in relation to pale Europeans. And I have to say pale Europeans because a lot of the early Europeans, okay, they were also of a dark complexion. Their name in the Middle Ages was synonymous with Negro, okay, in the Middle Ages. It's synonymous with Negro. Now let's keep in mind, Negroes in the Americas were called Negro de Terra, and Negroes across the seas, okay, were called, particularly in Africa, were called Negro de Guinea. But later in the 16th to 17th century, being the nearest Muslims to Western Europe, it was used indiscriminately of Muslims, Persians, Arabs, etc., but especially those in there. Okay, those are also Moors. All right, cognate with Dutch Moor, German Moor, Danish More or Moria, Spanish Moro, Italian Moro, related Mores. Okay, so that is who a Moor is. All right. Now I'm going to go through various dictionaries and different sources. Nowhere in anywhere it tells you a Moor is an American Aboriginal or even an American Indian. Now, many of us from our great grandparents, our grandmothers, even if they didn't know the whole truth, they told us we had a little bit of Indian in us. How many people could honestly say that their grandmothers or great grandfathers told them you had a little more in you? But that is just a question for the mind. Okay, let us go to the next definition. All right, I'm just going to type it in because I don't want to go ahead and stop the screen and share it again. So let me see if I could type it in here. All right, and let me see if that comes up, if it comes up. All right, let me see if that comes up. Okay, let's look at blackamoor. Okay, blackamoor. Let me make sure if that, let me see if it populated. Yes, blackamoor. Okay, because I want to cover all perspective. All right, blackamoor, dark-skinned person, black-skinned African, 1540s from black, plus more with connecting element. All right, then of course you have black here. All right, Old English, the color black, ink, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. All right, but the bottom line is, even a blackamoor, okay, he's a dark-skinned person, period. All right. So even if we were to look at that, okay, as just a complexion, as a complexion, it is not a nationality. Okay, as a complexion, because it's a dark-skinned person. You dig what I'm saying? All right. Now, also a black-skinned African. Now, it doesn't necessarily say where in Africa, but it just says a black-skinned African as a blackamoor. But a Moor is a North. Let's go back to that again. All right. I want to make sure, okay? I don't want to give the wrong information here. Let's go back to Moor again as a noun, denoting to a person, a North African Berber. Okay? So there goes the etymology of Moor. Let us stop sharing that. Okay? Let's stop sharing that. Stop sharing that. And let's go to another source. We are going to go to the Oxford, okay, to look at the definition of Moor, because I want to make sure that I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, like I do the natives as well, okay, like I do the Israelites as well, because my goal is to put the truth out there. I don't want any type of fabrication, okay, not what you want it to be, but let's put the truth out. Let's go to Oxford. Let's see what Moor is. Okay, quick reference. Berbers from Northwest Africa who conquered the Iberian Peninsula in 711. Okay, and then they ruled, and they were overthrown in 1492. Now, once again, when did Columbus supposedly came into the Americas? 1492. Now, you start putting the pieces together. Okay, the word Moor is a Middle French, Middle English term derived from the Latin Moros, an inhabitant of Mauritania, 14th century. Also Berbers, Sri Lanka, Islam in. Okay, that's another reference. That's the Oxford Dictionary. All right, let me stop sharing that. And all that stuff I put in the link for you guys, because I want everybody to do their own research. I don't want people to think I'm just making things up. All right, because a lot of old people are getting confused with things that they think that sound good, because everything that glitters isn't gold. Okay, everything that glitters isn't gold. All right, now let us go to the lexico. That's another dictionary. Let's look at the definition of Moor. Okay, mainly British, a tract of open, uncultivated, on upland, a heath. All right, a little town in Moors. A tract of open, uncultivated upland, a heath. Okay, a tract of open land preserved for shooting. I'm just giving you all the different definitions, even the etymology, the foundation of the word, who and what Moor is. Okay, let me go to another one. Let me stop sharing my screen. All right, I'm going to go to another dictionary. Let's go to another dictionary. Here we are, another dictionary. Moorish, of relating to Moors, a Muslim people of Northwest Africa. Number 2, in the style of the Moors as architecture or decoration. All right, that's another one. Okay, I want to go where now? I want to go here first. Okay, I want to go here first. We are going to go to the famous Noah's Webster's 20th dictionary. Let's go to that one, because a lot of times we know we use that to give the meaning or definition of who an American is, and the Moors use it as well. So let us use the same dictionary, okay, to see what it says who a Moor is in that same Noah's Webster's 1828 dictionary, okay, that everybody used to show who an American is. So here we go. In that same dictionary, 1828, all right, so if we could use that dictionary to prove, all right, to say that this is the definition of American, I don't see why it would be unjust to use the same dictionary to tell us who a Moor is. Let us go. Moor, noun, Okay. Number one, a tract of land overrun with heath. Number two, a marsh, a fen, a tract of wet low ground or ground covered with stagnant water. Moor, noun, dark, obscure, a native of the northern coast of Africa, called by the Romans from the color of their skin. Okay, Rome is in Italy. All right. Mauritania, the country of dark complexioned people. Okay, so now when you are telling people that we are all Moors, what perspective are you coming from? Are you talking about it from a complexion perspective or a geological perspective? You see, when people are just listening to people and it sounds good, you get caught up, but not me. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm a wordsmith. The ancestors have put the truth in my heart. And that's what it's all about. Let's bring the truth out. Let's come to the table because we are all going through the same oppression. So there's no need to, perpetuate a fraud. Well, I'm not going to say fraud because some people don't know. Okay, but let's not perpetuate the lies. Okay, because to me, for those who know and are not speaking the truth, you're pushing the agenda of your forefathers who were colonizers and settlers on our land. So let's keep in mind that we're in the age of Aquarius. Okay, the age of Aquarius is the awakening age. It's time to tell the truth, because after the Aquarius age, we have the Capricorn age, where we will now create the heaven on earth. And a lot of you will not experience that because you're telling lies. A lot of you have no integrity. A lot of you are still hurting people. A lot of you are still abusing people. I mean, people are just doing things that's unethical. So you guys are not going to make it and experience the heaven on earth in the Capricorn age. I promise you that. So now it's time to get your heart right. Get your mind right. Speak the truth, because only the truth will set us free. Period. Okay, so let's go back to Moor here for a second. A native of northern coast of Africa, called by the Romans from the color of the people, Mauritania, the country of dark-skinned complexion people. Okay, now, if you want to say on the whole, okay, well, everybody that's on earth, okay, they were dark-skinned people, they were Moors. Why not say, well, dark-skinned complexion people? Why do we have to use that term particularly? See, there's an underlying agenda behind that. Okay, the same country is now called Morocco, Tunis, Algiers, etc. And we'll get into Morocco soon enough. Okay, verb, transitive Latin moro, to confirm, to confine or secure a ship in a particular station, as by cables and anchors. By chains, a ship is never said to be moored when she rides by a single anchor. Okay, moor, verb intransitive, to be confined by cables or chains. All right. Now, like I said, we always use the 1828 dictionary to show who an American is. Okay. Now, that same dictionary just gave you who and what a Moor is. And Moors also used the 1828 to show the American who American is. So once again, it wouldn't be bias of me to use that same dictionary to tell you who a Moor is. Now, while we are here, why don't we just look at who an American is? Because if a Moor was an American Aboriginal, that would have been mentioned in the same dictionary that's telling you who an American is. Maybe maybe I'm just talking. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But let's go look and see who an American is in the same dictionary. Okay, let us look at that. Okay. Moors are not Aborigines of the Americas. All right. Now, American in the same Noah's 1828 dictionary. All right. A noun, a native of America, originally applied to the what? The Aboriginals, okay, or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, be it whether it's a pale European or a dark-skinned European like the Moors and the Israelites and the other Britons and all of them. but now applied to what? The descendants of Europeans born in America. Eddie Murphy, Trading Places. All I just want is the truth, family. Let's just all speak the truth. It's not going to hurt us, okay? As a matter of fact, it's going to bring us closer together. There's going to be more unity because our ancestors are not going to rest with other people claiming our birthright. They don't get this. It's a spiritual thing, at least for me. In that same dictionary tells you who an American is. But that same dictionary tells you who a Moor is. All right? Now I'm going to take it a step even further. The Oxford Dictionary also gave you the meaning of Moor. Now let us go into that same Oxford Dictionary and let's go look at the N word, because Moors use that as a reference as well to prove that, hey, guess what? Even the N word was used to identify Indians who was actually original Moors. That's what they're telling people. But that's not true. American Indians were not Moors. Okay? Moors, Israelites, every other culture, including the Pale race, came here and mixed with our people in the Americas. Now, I would be a hypocrite to say that all these different ethnic groups did not mix with our ancestors. I would be a hypocrite to tell you that. Am I related to the Moors? Yes, I am. Am I related to the Israelites? Yes, I am. Am I related to, different people who came from Africa? Yes, I am. I don't know about you, because I know they came here and mixed with my people. Am I even related to some pale people? Yes, I am, because they came and mixed with my people. But the underlying factor is that they came and mixed with us. So who we were, or who our ancestors were, that comes first. Okay? That's who we are. Everything else that's added to what we already are is just icing on the cake, but the cake was already made. Okay? The cake was already made. If you have a carrot cake and you just put some icing on it, it doesn't become a carrot icing cake. It is still a carrot cake. Okay? So we are American Aborigines. Hence, or AKA American Indians, which is a misnomer. All right? Now, same dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, okay, that tells you also who a Moor is. Guess what? It has the N word in there, and it tells you who was called who the N word was also called. But let us go down to look at it here for a second. Give me a second here. I'll find that for you. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Dictionary that. I think we almost there. We almost there. Okay, a person does manual labor. Where is some person? Okay. I hope I didn't pass it. I don't think I did. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. Now take a look at this. Even in the dictionary, okay, the N word, a dark-skinned person of any origin. However, in early U.S. use, usually reference to what? American Indians. Let me ask you a question. When was any native called the N word? So once again, okay, and even N-I, let me see, I think it's N-I-I, no, N-I-J-I-I, Niji, okay? Niji is also an Indian. You feel me? So the N word, at some point, they were calling the American Indians, but a dark-skinned person, the N word, okay? Let any native claim that. Like I told you, I know how to shut all of this down, okay? So let us stop here for a second. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through an article the African who conquered Rome, Septimius Severus, all right, Severus, the African emperor of Rome. I'm just going to read a little bit. You guys also have that in the in the description. I put that there for you guys as well, because I want you guys to do your own. I put all the links there for you because I don't want it to be a thing where Chief Kalinago is just talking and he got something against Moors. No, I don't have anything against Moors. All right, I respect the knowledge that a lot of them have given me. In fact, I've spoken to Moors who told me the truth, and those are the ones that I respect. Just like the natives who's been telling me the truth and are now still telling me the truth. I had a conversation with a native lady today, and she told me the entire truth, that my great-grandmother was a Negro woman. Okay, so I'm gonna ask her permission, okay, to screenshot the conversation, but block her face if you don't want her face to be shown, and share the conversation, because it's only the truth that's going to set us free. That's it. Nothing else but the truth. And I promise you, in the age of Aquarius, it will be told, because I'm ready for the heaven on earth. I am going to make it to the age of Capricorn. But of course, I have to reincarnate. But, you know, we still got some years to go, all right, before that happens. But I just want to kind of like, you know, share that, right? So the African who conquered Rome, Septimius Severus, the African emperor of Rome, all right? Septimus Severus was a Mohammedan Numidian of African Moor from North Africa. He was the founder and ancestor of members of the Severan dynasty. Septimius Severus was the first Roman emperor not born and raised in Italy, because Italy is in Rome, right? But he became an emperor, all right? And was the first one that wasn't actually born in Rome. His father's family originally came from Libya, Liptus Magna, and his mother's family were Etruscans Italian. All right. Remember, to get most times, and I know for in the Americas for sure, we had a matriarchal society. So anybody who entered, a woman, okay, from the Americas, an Aborigine, that means they would have title to whatever, okay, she had any type of rights to, because it was hereditary to pass things down through the mother. Okay, so because his mother was Italian, okay, he was able, okay, to become the first Roman emperor, all right, that wasn't actually Italian. All right, now his grandfather, a Moorish, okay, and you see how they spell Moorish, Mourish, knight of the Roman emperor, owned land near Rome, but Septimius had grown up in Libya, Africa, with his father. Septimius married Julia Domna, a Syrian daughter of a high priest. The name Domna is derived from the archaic Arabic word Dommeana, means black. So once again, I'm proving my point that the further back you go into antiquity, the royals, they were so-called black. So everything that I'm teaching you, I'm bringing everything full circle to the point where I prove to you, okay, that the original kings and queens of Rome, while slavery was in the United States, in the Americas completely, those people were still so-called black. King James, King George, all of them were so-called black kings, okay? The pale people did not get full power until the late 1800s, early 1900s. So you see, y'all are giving the so-called white man too much credit for enslaving you when that wasn't the case. It was people that look just like us that came here, raped that brought the rapture. And that's what rapture really means, to rape. So the rapture happened a million times on this continent with our women and some men too, little boys. Okay? The rapture already happened, but they got our people in churches waiting for the rapture to happen. But I'm going to leave that alone. This is not about the church right now. Okay? It was people who look just like us. Okay? I'm going to read just a little more, but y'all could do the rest of the reading for yourself because this article is a little lengthy. All right? Because Septimius' family were highly placed Roman citizens, he was entitled to be educated in Rome. Upon graduation, he became a lawyer and practiced briefly in Rome. All right? Because right now, we are being governed from an extension of Rome. From the so-called black nobles that came here, came together. They all had to come together to take down the American Aborigines. And guess what? We never lost a physical war. We lost the war on paper. That's how we lost, family. But think about it, okay? King James, you guys have to keep that. Remember, follow the lessons now. King James was the first Jacobite, okay? Jacobine. And he changed his name to Israel. So yes, he was a thief, he was a liar, but he was real because King James was real. He brought his grandmama Bible here in 1611. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right. Now, let's read a little more. His family background, education, and experience placed him with a strong network of influence and privilege. He had solid support and patronage within the highest ranks of the empire. He became a Roman senator at the age of 18 years upon an imperial appointment sanctioned by Marcus Aurelius in 175 AD. Now, 175 AD is approximately 3/4 into the 2nd century. Okay, just so you know what time frame we are looking at. So if we have the nobles in Europe, okay, that were of that complexion, then family, you tell me. You tell me what it is. He then joined the Imperial Legion. Now, what's a legion? I've given you guys the etymology of a legion. A legion is an army. Okay, a legion is an army. So therefore, religion is bringing back the army. So when our people are singing in church, give me that old time religion. What are you asking? What are you saying? You are asking to bring back those armies. So they are nothing but prisoners of these armies. All of them. Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, they are all legions that our people were singing in church to bring back. But they don't know this. God's people perish for the lack of knowledge. Okay? A legion is an army. And any word that you add the prefix "re," it means to do it again. From the age of 24, he took part in a campaign in Spain, Syria, Gaul, Sicily, and Athens. Soon he had attained the rank of military commander in the Imperial Legion and became a member of the Praetorian Guards. He also served as a governor of Gallia, Lugdunensis, and Sicily, and towards the end of the Commodus' reign, he was made consul in AD 190. The Africans in Rome. As should be obvious to anyone with any knowledge of Roman history, black people were foundational in the demographics of Rome. Yes, it is generally known that the kingdom that preceded Rome, Etruria, was basically built by black and brown people who had immigrated to Rome Peninsula via North Africa. Roman Empire thus had many prominent black people, some being Aboriginal Europeans, all right? Like I told y'all before, otherwise known as European Moors. That's where that word Moor came from, okay? America was never called Moo. Don't let anybody fool you with that, okay? Or Mur. America was never called that. All this came from Anatolia, from the regions of Smyrna, Sardis, Cappadocia, and Syria. Many of the ancient bishops of the Orthodox Church were from this branch of black people, and their iconic images still exist today to bear testimony to their ethnicity. Now, let me pause here for a second because When I tell y'all I'm bringing that knowledge, I bring the knowledge. I don't just talk about it. Okay, let me see something here if I could pull this up. Give me 1 second here. All right. That's not it right here. I'm gonna pull it up right here. Give me 1 second. I got y'all. I got y'all. This is about telling the truth. Let's put the truth out there. That's all we got to do. Okay? Let's put it out there. Let's stop with the deceptions and the lies. Okay? Let me see. I know I got it somewhere, man. I got it somewhere. Here we go. Okay? Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick with this. Let me just pull this up here. Give me 1 second. Put this here. Right here. Okay? And I'm going to share my screen. Now, remember I told you, right? It says what? Many of the ancient bishops of the Orthodox Church were from this branch of Black people, and their iconic images still exist today to bear testimony to their ethnicity. Let me show you something here, family. Because I like to make sure when I bring anything, it cannot be debated. Okay? They got to come real good. Now, let us look at this video here real quick, just to prove my point to you. All right. This is a video that I've had on my YouTube for, I would say, approximately what? A little over, when did I post that? It must have been over a year, but you know, that's irrelevant right now, right? Let us look at, take a look at this video real quick. All right. This is the Pope bowing down, okay, to the same people, the lineage of people, their descendants. So now you know who run things still, all right? Every kinfolk and kinfolk. He's bowing down to the real royals. Got to get down to, get down on his knees to the matriarch in full. Wheezing and all, okay? Bowing down to the true royals, okay? Now, what I just read, let me go back to that article because, again, I don't want y'all to think I'm making things up. Don't want y'all to think I'm making things up, okay? Let me go back and share that article. I'm gonna read just a little bit more, and then I'm going to move on, okay? What did I say here? Huh? Let me see. The built North America, immigrated the youth and the regions and the bishops. Okay, right here. Many of the ancient bishops of the Orthodox Church were from this branch of Black people, and the iconic images still exist today to bear the testimony. All right. Who do you think created Rome? Okay, the Roman Catholic Church. Who do you think invented it? It wasn't the pale man. It was them. That's why the Pope, the pale Pope, have to bow to them. Who do you think sent Columbus here? Who do you think sent Ferdinand here and Isabella here? Who do you think sent them? Okay, and I'm not saying it was the Moors particularly, but it was the so-called Black nobles. I'm talking about from Europe, North Africa, Rome. I mean, I'm just talking about Germany, Britain, Ireland, all those places, Scotland, because the nobles were so-called Black. Okay. Now, Once again, the pale man wasn't the one who created the lie. Y'all got to stop blaming the pale man and giving the pale man too much credit. Okay? At that time, the pale man, they were servants all over Europe. Some of them were slaves. Not all of them, a lot of them. Okay? So get it. This had nothing to do with the color of skin. It was about status, which it is still about that today. It's about the have and the have-nots. The thing was, the haves were people who looked just like us. Even here in the Americas, we had it all. All right? So again, this is not about hating people and putting people down. This is about telling the truth, family, the truth. King James wasn't a Moor. King James wasn't a Moor. Again, I have done the lesson. King James wasn't a Moor. King James was a Jacobite. He was the first Israelite. He was the king of the Israelites. He did not call himself a Moor. One, because they were also warring with each other. They were warring with each other. Okay? So trust me, they knew the difference between their own ethnicity. Not every so-called Negroid is the same, or Negro is the same. One also had Moors from Africa, Ethiopia, and Libya. How come they never said they had some from America? Huh? Moorish Africans from Morocco. That's where that word came from. From Egypt. And I'm talking about the second Egypt, okay? As far as the present day Niger, bend countries like Nigeria and Mali. Okay? Well, if when you say Moor, you mean black, then black means dead in law. So why would you want to be called yourself? Why would you call yourself a Moor? Now, when we talk about the Mali, right? You have a lot of Moors talking about they are the original Washington Moors. No, they are not. The Mali Moors came here, okay, and intermarried or mingled with the Washita, and they took over and called themselves the Washita Moors. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this right here. You guys have that. You could read the entire article. Just want to give you a little bit of background, okay? And our people were great all over the world, all right? And once again, this is not to put anybody down. This is just to tell our truth, all right? Our truth cannot be told with a bunch of lies. Now, let us go to the Moors-Sundry Act. Let us go to the Moors-Sundry Act. The Moors-Sundry Act of 1790, which was the first time the census was taken. So a lot of this reclassification was taking place at that time. Okay. The Moors-Sundry Act of 1790 was a 1790 advisory resolution passed by South Carolina House of Representatives clarifying the status of free subjects of what? Sultan of Morocco, Mohammed bin Abdullah. They are subjects of Morocco. That's why they always tell you, oh, well, the entire North America was Morocco. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. You tried to colonize North America, and that's how your flag ended up planting in the Americas. But Morocco was never America. It never will be. Clarifying the status of free subjects of the Sultan of Morocco, Mohammed bin Abdullah, the resolution offered the opinion that free citizens of Morocco were not subject to laws governed by what? Blacks and slaves. Why? At that time, they were doing commerce with the colonizers. Okay? They were doing commerce with the colonizers. So the Sultan had to sign a deal with the foreign occupiers so they could use Morocco as a port to bring their you know, they're whatever. They're good, so to speak. Okay? Let's read a little more. Petition from the sundry free Moors. Okay? On January 20th, 1790, a petition was presented to the South Carolina House of Representatives from a group of 4 individuals who were subjects of Moroccan emperor and residents of the states. They desired that if they happened to commit any fault amenable to be brought to justice as subjects of the prince allied, hear that, allied with the United States through the Moroccan Treaty of Friendship. Now, they always talk about that. Well, yeah, you partnered up with the United States to do commerce and bring goods and slaves and all these things into the Americas and out of the Americas. Now, a lot of my Aboriginal ancestors did it as well. So this is not to put y'all down. That is just telling the truth. And that's what that treaty of peace and friendship was about. It wasn't because Morocco was America, no. Okay? It was a deal to keep peace, a truce, for commercial reasons. But check this out. They would be tried as citizens instead of what? Under the Negro Act. So they didn't even want to call themselves Negroes. But yet still we were called the Negros de Terra. Okay? They didn't even want to be identified as Negro de Guinea, because they were warring with each other on the side of the world. Now, the free Moors, not because they were American Aborigines or not because they were American Indians, no. They were in treaty with the Sultan and the Sultan's subjects. They were getting the privileges of that partnership. Okay? The free Moors, Francis Daniel, Hammond, and Samuel petitioned on behalf of themselves and their wives Fatima, Flora, Sarah, and Clarenda. They explained how some years ago, while fighting in defense of their country, they and their wives were captured and made prisoners of war by the African king. Like I said, Africans were enslaving their own people. The people who came here from Africa, and it wasn't no 12 million, 20 million, that's a lie, okay? The few that came here from Africa itself, they came here as indentured servants. However, indentured servants turned slaves in the late 1800s by King George. Don't listen to the lies that you were told. Even if your ancestors did come from Africa, they did not come here as slaves, because the kings knew exactly where their people were going, okay? The kings got paid. Why do you think it's so hard for so-called black people to get reparations? Because they already know your kings got paid. After this certain Captain Clark had them delivered to him, promising they would be redeemed by Moroccan ambassador residing in England, okay, and returned to their country. Okay, now, mind you, at that time, okay, all the nobles in England were still so-called black. Don't let nobody fool you, my brothers and sisters. Okay? Instead of, he transported them to South Carolina and sold them for slave. Since then, by the greatest industry, they purchased freedom from their respective masters. They requested that as freeborn subjects of what? The prince in alliance with the United States, that they should not be considered subjects to a state law, then in force, known as the Negro law. Okay? If they be found guilty of any or misdemeanor, they would receive a fair trial by lawful jury, the matter referred to a committee consisting of Justice John Fauchirod Grimke, General Charles Courtsworth Pickney, and Edward Rutledge. Okay? I'm going to read the rest of that. Okay? Free Moors Petition Committee Report. Edward Rutledge reported from the committee on the petition on the same day, and the House agreed to report with which read as follows. They have considered the same and are of opinion that no law of the state can in construction or operation applied to them, and that persons who were subject of the Emperor of Morocco being free, this state are not tribal by law for the better ordering and governing of the Negroes and the slaves. Because the report was not forwarded to the state senate for concurrence, it did not have the force of law, served as the advisory opinion offering the sense of the House. The report was later published in the Charleston City Gazette and the Charleston State Gazette of South Carolina. Okay, that was the Moors Sundry Act. All right, now let me stop sharing this right here now. Okay, now this is a document that's floating all over the internet, be it Telegram, not Telegram, but TikTok, Facebook, all these different places. Okay, but let me show you that document that's being paraded around. Here we go. Let's share this document. Okay. Now, I'm not sure those of you who have seen this document. Now, this is supposedly on the website of the Illinois General Assembly, but this is not a real document. This is a doctored document. But let us read it. Okay? Let us read it. It is House Resolution 0689, because I see people on TikTok and Facebook, yo, black people in America, in the United States, they got to see this. They got to read this and claim their nationality. Y'all better be careful, man, that y'all American Aborigines, aka American Indians, don't get caught up in this nonsense because it sounds good. That's why I'm putting the truth out there. When you know the truth, do what you want. It's on you. Okay? It's on you. All right? Now, let us go through that House Resolution 0689. House Resolution. Whereas the Moorish American are the descendants of ancient Moabites, Hamites, and Canaanites who were permitted by the old pharaohs of Kemet to traverse from East Africa and later formed themselves kingdoms extending from the northeastern and southwestern shores of Africa, the Atlantic islands, and onto the present-day continental Americas. Now, if the resolution is starting off saying, listen to what it says, whereas the Moorish Americans are descendants of ancient Moabites. Now, who was the father of the Moabites? Lot of Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, Lot was the father of the Moabites, but I will leave that alone. The Hamites and the Canaanites, who were permitted by old pharaohs of Kemet to traverse from East Africa and later form themselves kingdoms extending from northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa, the Atlantic islands, and onto the present-day continental Americas. And whereas the indigenous Moorish peoples of Americas are now united in order to gain link themselves with the family of nations, and whereas the Moorish Americans, being aboriginal to the territories of North, Central, and South Americas, have formed a that's a false document. It was a more doctored that document. Why do I know and how do I know? Because I have the original. And you see, that's the lies and the deceit that I cannot stand. You see what I'm saying? Because you are still with the mindset of your forefathers that came here to colonize my people. Because I have the original document, and that's what I'm going to show you next. The original document. All right, but it reads, whereas the Moorish Americans, being aboriginal to the territories of North, Central, and South America, how many definitions and different sources that I'm going to show you what Moor or Moorish means. Not one time it said anything about being from America. Okay? Have formed a sovereign theocratic government and guided by the command, principles of love, truth, peace, and freedom, and justice through virtue of universal right to self-determination, as well as with the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples guaranteed in the Charter. And whereas on January 8th, 1866, Noble Drew Ali was born in the state of North Carolina, destined to become the first patriot of his mentality, enslaved Moorish American people. In 1912, he was anointed as El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali by the leaders of Egypt and holy city of Mecca to return to the United States. Now, I'm not here to dispute that. Whoever he was, that's not what this is about, okay? And as the last prophet and founding father of the newly risen nation of Moorish Americans, as a result of the 13th Amendment, Moorish people were emancipated from slavery in 1865. Therefore, be it resolved by the House Representative, Now, that document was doctored. Let me show you the original document. Let me show you the original document. I'm just tired of the lies, man. I'm just tired of the lies and the games. Stop playing the games. All right? Let's just all come to the table, man. We are all dealing with this situation. Okay? Let's just come to the table and speak the truth. You see what I'm saying? That's it. That's all I want, man. Let me show you the original document. Here we are. Okay? This is the original document. Where are we at with that? Give me a second here. No, that's not it. Where it's at. Give me 1 second. Right here. Whoa. Right. Where's the document at? Oh, here we go. Okay. This is the original document. All right. I got the original. House of Representatives, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Harrisburg. Okay. I mean, once again, y'all could say what y'all want. You know, again, your opinions. Okay, I'm giving y'all the truth. So don't tell me you were Moors before you were American Indians. Maybe you were, but American Aborigines were already here. Okay, we were already here. And I'm not going to deal with the back and forth with y'all. I'm just going to drop the truth and people do what y'all want with it. All right, that's it. House of Representative, from PA House of Representative, right to know office. Subject, PA right to know, law request for House Resolution 75 of 1933. Okay. Dear requester, this memo is applicable to PA right to know law request for PA House Resolution 75 of 1933. Please find attached to this memo a self-authenticated copy of the HR 75 of 1933. Also attached, please find copies of the corresponding House Journal pages from May 4th, 1933. The date HR 75 was published in the House. Okay, like I said, this is facts over feelings. Position on statement of certification. According to Pennsylvania Rule of Evidence 902-5, extrinsic evidence of authenticity as a condition precedent to admissibility is not required with respect to the following: official publications, book, pamphlets, or other publications purporting to be issued by authority. This means that official publications such as House Resolution issued by public authority such as the PA House of Representatives are self-authenticating. Therefore, no statement of certification is necessary for this document in order to use it in an official capacity. This is the official document. Okay? Now, once again, like I said, all these names are misnomer. All right? We were just living on our land without calling ourselves anything. Let me ask you a question. What does animals in nature call themselves? That's how we lived. Okay? That's how we lived. Now, here we go. Official document. All right? Journal of the Thursday, May 4th, 1933. The House of Representatives met at 11 a.m. I even got the time and everything. 11 o'clock a.m. The Speaker, Grover C. Talbot, in the chair. The chaplain, Reverend George F. Connor offered prayer. The journal of Thursday, May 4th, 1933 was partly read, whereupon Mr. Long moved the further reading of the journal be dispensed with and the journal approved, which was agreed to. Mr. Hutton offered a resolution from the committee on rules fixing the order of business for the day, which was twice read as follows. It was read twice. Okay? As follows. Let me see. Whereupon. Give me a second. Agreed. As follows. Resolved that the order of business of the House for session Thursday, May 4th, 1933 shall be as follows. Number one, communications from the governor and Senate, reference of the bills or petition to committees, signing of a bill of bills or other papers, and clearing the table privilege at any time. Number two, the asking of leave of absence. Number three, the receiving reports of committees. Reports from committees may also be received immediately before or after a recess or before adjournment. All bills reported from committee shall be read for the first time. Resolution. A, House and concurrent. Now it's concurrent. Okay. House and concurrent resolutions originating in the House other than those discharged committee from consideration of the bills and fixing special orders of business. B, resolution recalling bills from the governor and the Senate, and resolutions returning bills to the governor are privileged. Number five, motions to recommit. This motion may also be made when a bill is reached in its regular order. Motion to reconsider privilege at any time bills on second reading. Number eight, bills on the final passage recalled from the governor. Number nine, bills on the final passage postponed. Calendar may be called up under the order of business. 10, bills on the third reading, or passed. Okay. Mr. Peters moved that the vote by which resolution number 80 passed the House be considered. Mr. Forrest seconded the motion. The motion was agreed to. Mr. Peters moved that this resolution be laid upon the table. The motion was agreed to. Mr. Whitkin called up resolution number 75. The resolution was read as follows. I'm giving you in detail the language verbatim of what was discussed, not some doctored document. Okay? All right, let's go. In the House Representative, April 17th, 1933, many sons and daughters of the proud, handsome race which inspired the architecture of Northern Africa and carried into Spain the influence of artistic temperament have become citizens of this nation. In the city of Philadelphia, there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who have found here, the end of their quest for a home, and of the children of those who journeyed here from the plains of Morocco. This society has done much to bring about a thorough absorption by these people of those principles which are necessary to make them good American citizens. These Moorish Americans have since being here missed the use of the titles and name annexations that were so familiar at home and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of religions, faith to which they are adherents, therefore be it. Resolve this House commends the Moorish American Society of Philadelphia for the efficient service it has rendered the nation in bringing about a speedy and thorough Americanization of these former Moors, and that in accordance with the fullest right of religious independence guaranteed every citizen, we recognize also the right of these people to use the name affixes El or Ali or Bey or any other prefix or suffix to which they have heretofore been accustomed to use, or which they may hereafter acquire the right to use. On the questions, will the House adopt the resolution? It was adopted. Mr. Root offered the following resolution, which was twice read, considered, and adopted. Okay? So there you go. That is the original document. Now, y'all could say anything about Aboriginal, whatever the case may be. Like I said, we were here, and we were here living peacefully on the land. Okay? That's just the bottom line. All right? And we had different tribes. We had different clans. Okay? I am Kalinago and Anionwiya. All right? So regardless of whatever it is, the bottom line is we were already here. Okay? When these people came here. Okay? So that is the official document. Now, it's important that we go into a little history, okay, of the timeline of Morocco. Let us go into a little history of the timeline of Morocco, okay? Let me share that screen. Like I said, man, I'm showing documents over conversation, okay? Facts over feelings. This is not to put anybody down. This is not to degrade anybody. This is to stop the nonsense, okay? Because it's creating division and it's confusing people, okay? Period. All right? Now, this is a timeline of Morocco. Now, Spain suppressed an uprising against its rule in northern Morocco in the 1920s. But between the 10th and the 17th century, dynasties and religious movements come and go, including Almoravid movement, which at its peak controlled Morocco and parts of present-day Algeria and Spain. 1860, dispute over Spain's Ceuta enslaved. Spain declares war, wins a further enclave and an enlarged Ceuta in settlement. 1884, Spain creates a protectorate in coastal areas of Morocco. 1904, France and Spain carve out zones of influence. 1906, Algeciras conference in Spain, France and Spain get to the go-ahead to police Moroccan ports and collect custom fees. French protectorate. Even to this present day, Morocco is a protectorate of France. Okay? 1912, Morocco becomes a French protectorate under the Treaty of Fez, administered by a French resident general. Spain continues to operate its coastal protectorate. The Sultan has a largely figurehead role. 1921 to 1926, tribal rebellion in Rif Mountains is suppressed by the French and the Spanish troops. 1943, Istiqlal Party of Independence founded to press for independence. 1956, March end of the French protectorate after unrest and strong nationalist sentiments. Spain keeps its two coastal enclaves. Sultan Mohammed becomes king in 1957. All right? 1957. 1961, death of the King Mohammed. King Hassan II comes to power. 1963, first general election. 1965, social unrest. King Hassan declares a state of emergency and suspends parliament. 1971, failed attempts to depose king and establish a republic. All right, 1973, Palacerio movement formed aims to establish an independent state in Spanish Sahara, a territory south of Morocco controlled by Spain. The group has Algerian support. And we could go on and on and on and on and on. Okay? Again, all that stuff is there for you to go through, but I'm just giving you a history or a timeline of what was going on in Morocco. Okay? Now, let me stop sharing the screen real quick and go down again. All right? To history of Morocco. Let's read a little bit. Go into the history a little bit. Okay? History of Morocco. here we go. History of Morocco. Habitants in Morocco spans since Lower Paleolithic, with the earliest known being Jabal Ishhad. If I butcher some of these names, please forgive me. Okay, no disrespect. Much later, Morocco was part of the Ibero-Monrosian, whatever that is, culture, including Tafarat. It dates from the establishment of the Mauritania and other ancient Berber kingdoms to the establishment of the Moroccan state by the Idrisid dynasty. Now, I want to go down, all the way down, and we're looking at the timelines, okay, of prehistoric Morocco, early history, all right, Carthage, 1800 to 300 BC, Mauritania, everything is there, all right? Everything is there in terms of kind of all through the 1100s, all right, the 1400s, all right, all the wars that were going on. I'm just showing you this for a reason. I got to give you the timeline of everything that was happening outside of the Americas. Outside of the Americas, everything that was going down. All right. Let's go back here. Okay. We have early Islamic Morocco. Somebody said go back to the 1700s. Early Islamic Morocco, 1700 to 1743. Okay, so I just went back to that. Okay, and all the information is there. Okay, all the information is there. Now, that is a timeline of events and wars that was going on in Morocco. I've already shown you guys a timeline of stuff that was happening in different parts of the world. Okay, now let us look at a timeline of, let's compare that to the timeline of what was happening in the Americas then. Like I said, man, forgive me for butchering the words. We know etymology is important. That's why I had to start off with the etymology of Moor, all right, and African. Okay, like I said, let's not get into the feelings, man. Okay, this is not about feeling, usurping our identity, period. Now, let me give you a timeline. A timeline of what was happening. Well, of course, when they speak of America, they talk about the United States, right? So let us rock. We have antiquity. Then we have 988 to 1490. And then we have 1492 onwards. All those things that was happening, right? 2700 to 12,000 years ago, we talk about humans coming across the Bering Strait. We know that's not true. I have debunked that. Okay, I have debunked that. Then we have in 1500 year of Arrowhead. I'm going down to the timeline in what was happening in the Americas. There were no wars known to the outside world in the Americas. No wars whatsoever. Don't tell me I can't use Wikipedia. It's just a timeline. I didn't use Wikipedia for any etymology or definition. Okay, like I said, get out of y'all feelings. All right, please. I know this was going to be a touchy one. All right, because y'all get aggressive when y'all hear the truth. All right. So the point I'm making is this. All right. We didn't have any main outside influence inside of our soils before the 1400s. Okay. Everything was internal. Now, does it mean that, we didn't have, so-called tribal wars or disagreements? I'm not saying that, but that was internal. You see what I'm saying? It was internal. So I'm just saying all this to say, man. All right. So here we are. Okay, guys. So I just wanted to come here and bring that information. And again, I hear what everybody's saying, man. Did you hear about this person? Did you hear about this? The facts is the facts. Okay. The facts is the facts. Period. Because like I said, I could go back, to a point where we didn't call ourselves anything. You feel me? That's the point. And why are people so adamant about calling us everything else if we have the right to self-identify? And that's another reason why I had stopped doing videos, because it was just too much of the back and forth and people getting in their feelings. And I don't deal with that. You feel me? All these came here. Okay? All these people came here to settle and colonize. It is really that simple. Now, whatever y'all want to call y'all truth, it's all right. Again, this is not about, creating animosity. That's not what it's about. I talk about the natives. I talk about the Israelites. I talk about everybody. But the final hurdle for the original people of this land that were here when we didn't even call ourselves names, period. The final hurdle for us to cross is people saying that we are Moors. Okay? Exactly. We predate Islam in the Americas. Islam was brought here. Okay? Yes, we are one people globally. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that we are one. This is not what this is about. Okay? It's about, if we are one people, yes, we are one people because we are children of the earth. We are one people. You see what I'm saying? However, when it comes to geographical location, okay, when it comes to what y'all talk about, we have to make it clear that we are Americans. And we are the original Americans. And that's it, period. End of story. End of story. Well, like I said, man, I call myself a man, okay? When I tell everybody to take away all the labels, I call myself a man, because anything is a misnomer. Even Moorish American is a misnomer. Even Moor is a misnomer. Anything can be a misnomer, because anything you give, even calling yourself a man, could be a misnomer, because we are not the flesh. So we don't try to get technical with me, fam. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a man first. In fact, I'm God walking in the flesh first. But I identify myself as an American original American, aka American Aboriginal, aka American Indian. Okay, period. And none of you guys are gonna take that away or convince me otherwise. I don't care what you say. You could call it anything you want. Because how everything else get to be a misnomer, but more don't get to be a misnomer. Why is that? And my people didn't call themselves Moors. You see, that's that bias. That's that biased argument and debate people like to bring. And like I said, the truth is what's going to set everybody free. It is really that simple. Okay? And I'm not disputing that we are not originals of the planet, of the earth. I'm not disputing that. Right here, we are talking about specific locations. Okay? The people who were here, we did not call ourselves Moors. Period. It is really that simple. And we didn't call ourselves Aboriginals either. We didn't call ourselves American Indians either. All right? Just letting y'all know that. And it's quite ironic that it's the so-called black people that came from the shores, with y'all being the likes, that called us all these names, okay, to take our birthright. You see what I'm saying? How ironic is that? But now that we are claiming it, all of a sudden, it's a misnomer. See, that's funny to me. And that's funny business. You see what I'm saying? But it will all come to light. It will all come to light. You see what I'm saying? Because in the age of Capricorn, all right, there will be no such thing as a Moor. There'll be no such thing as an African American. There'll be no such thing as a native. There'll be no such thing as an Indian. There'll be no such thing as an Aboriginal. There'll be none of that. We'll be just people. living on the land in peace. And that's what I'm waiting for. Period. Family, I'm not saying you are a Moor. That's fine. I'm not telling you that you are not a Moor, family. You could be what you want. You have a self to identify. You have the right to self-identify. But don't tell us who we are. That's what I'm saying. You could be that. That's on you. That's on you, but don't impose your identity on us. That's what I'm saying. Whichever way you call it and whatever you say you call yourself, it's on you. You could call yourself anything. You see what I'm saying? So please, you identify as who you want, but don't try to convince us we are something else. We know better. It's the same thing I tell the natives, but you see, y'all take it personal because you know the agenda. Why can't we just all be men and women wanting to live in peace? Why you guys got to try to force identities on us? If we say that's who we are, then let us be who we are. Period. Because everybody else get to be a hyphen American. Even though a Moorish American is hyphen. That means it's American, it's something else plus American. I'm just American, period. So this is not a debate, fam. I'm just here to drop the information and the people could do what they want with it. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I saved it. I saved it for last. You see, that's why I saved it for last. That's why. Because I knew the type of energy that was going to come behind it. Because like I said, I've been down that road before. All right? But I'm not going to let it consume me. I give people the information, let them do their own diligence, their own due diligence, and let them do what they want with it. And I'm glad you say etymology is important because that's why I started with the etymology first. And guess what? It wasn't the pale man who created the etymology. Okay? Y'all did. Okay? Y'all created the etymology, not the pale man. I'm not giving him that credit. It did not come from them. So in your own words, yes, etymology is important. I totally agree. All right? So once again, my goal is to bring the facts and the truth out here and let people do what they want to do with that. Okay? I have done my part. I've brought the information. I've brought my documents. I'm not into any debates. Period. Okay? Right now, don't matter who we are. It's about the have and the have-nots. So this was one of the main last ones I wanted to do. Once I do that, then I'm going to start having possibly some interviews with Native Americans, okay? And I'm going to go back to teaching people about financial literacy. That's what I'm going to go back to. Period. That's all I'm doing. Because it's about the have and the have-nots. I don't care what you call yourself, okay? If you broke, you busted, and disgusted, you don't have a voice. And that's a fact. So don't look at it as me putting people down. No, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm not disrespecting anybody, okay? Your flag is not our flag. Do not impose it on us. Don't do that. Because we never even had flags. Like I said, we were living on our land. When you guys had flags across the seas, we didn't have flags. The flag we had was the clothes on our back. And the very little of that too. Okay? We were just living on our land peacefully. Away from everybody's world, where they have nations and fighting each other and colonizing each other. Okay? Y'all didn't know we existed. Period. So how in the hell are you going to tell me that's who we are? and y'all didn't even know we existed. Stop the nonsense. But anyway, guys, I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to make me a salad. I didn't even eat my salad because I already know after this, I was going to be hungry. So I got a gallon of natural spring water. I'm about to make my salad and I'm done. Okay? But anyway, like I said, it was the so-called conquerors that came here, the black ones that came here that call us Indians. Okay? Y'all called us Indians. But now you telling us it's a misnomer. All right. Man, like I said, I don't care. Your flag is your flag. It ain't got nothing to do with us. It could be 2 million years old. It's yours. It is not ours. Family, I'm not here disrespecting who you say you are. I'm not here disrespecting your flag. You see, y'all get into your feelings, man. I never said your flag was garbage. I will not disrespect you like that. I have respect for Moors. I really do. I never said your flag is garbage or your flag is 2 years old. I'm not saying that. I said it's yours. It is not ours. We were not flying flags on our land before the inception of settlers and colonizers. When I say we, I'm talking about my ancestors. Period. So what I advise everybody to do is this. Like I said, I'm gonna start doing a few videos, talking to a few, Native Americans, all right, and doing some, some interviews, sharing some information. After that, I'm strictly going to be talking about financial literacy. Okay, that's what I'm going to be talking about. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, teaching people how to feed their families. All right. That's what I'm going to be talking from them. Once I do a couple more videos like that here and there, I'm going to take a break and go back to working on teaching people about bringing some money into their home and building a legacy for them and their families. I'm done. It is really that simple. And that's why I saved this one for last, because I knew what type of energy that was going to come behind it. All right. Because the agenda is real. Okay. The agenda is real. So I say moving forward, we could all come to the table and agree that we are men and women, and let's just respect each other for who we are. Period. It is really that simple. Okay. It is really that simple. I don't see nobody going to argue with, the so-called black Chinese, the black, Chinese or Australian Aborigines telling them they're Moors. Why y'all want to keep forcing that on us? Let us just respect each other for who we say we are. It is really that simple. You did? That's it. It's really that simple, man. Let's just respect each other for who we say we are. That's it. You do you, we do us, okay? And that's all it is. When it all boils down to what it's all about is what? It's about the have and the have-nots, okay? Everybody's being oppressed. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. The bottom line is there's a system in place, and it's not ran by the pale man, okay? I have proven that. The pale man is the gatekeeper. It's about the have and the have-nots. That's what it's about. Okay? Period. And you don't have to tell me what money is, family. Like I said, man, you are an instigator and a provocateur. I could tell. You see what I mean? Because you never heard me say, the fiat currency is what real or fake money is. Okay? I know what it is. Apparently you haven't seen any of my videos, because I've been doing this for years. All right? Again, get out of your feelings. Get out of your emotions and let it be what it is. because that's what it is. And with that being said, you guys have a good one, and don't be deceived, all right, with the the propaganda, family. Don't be deceived with the propaganda. Okay? Let your heart speak to you, because the truth is always within us. All right? And like I will tell anybody, take away all the labels. Okay? Take away all the labels. I am a man first, and I will forever stand on that. I am a man. Okay? Period. Whatever labels come with that, that label is attached to the physical body, not the spirit, not the I am in me. And that's what I want each and every one of us to see us as. Okay? The I am in us. You go ahead and give that a name. Okay? You go ahead and give that a name, because I'm God. Go ahead and dispute that. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Take care.